I kind of see what the liberals are saying about the right being fascist. Um, it's yeah, it's unusual to me to like be kind of more in the middle now and realize like just how extreme they are. One of my biggest accomplishments in my like life has been, you know, keeping my parents apart. Because it's really easy to like think, you know, someone is nice after years of them not being around someone they enjoy victimizing. And it's just it's weird. It's like not a it's not a great feeling to acknowledge, to be like, oh wow, I helped rile up like a lot of moderate people to the right, because the left was being so extreme, because the right was, you know, they know that a lot of the people on the right actually are secretly or used to be Nazis. So it's like not some kind of a like a joke. It's like a literal term. Yeah, people that like actually think that like white people are the best and anyone else sucks. And that's like a really like creepy and scary mentality to like have, especially in a time where like everyone's like, you know, people are like mostly the same. You can't really like change how you look. I mean, people do all the time, but that's just like weird. But you know, that's like who you are and what you are. And you can always change on the inside and change your actions or change your behavior. But like, I just think this generation and the fascists, like, they're really obsessed with like looks, and because they're Nazis, because they're like little, you know, Hitler youth, and like those people are like really militarized and weird. So I think most people on the whole are just like trying to like enjoy their lives. I'm not trying to film the BB, you know, and like not be bothered, but there are people out there that are trying to bother you, you know, as their life. And it's been a long time, so I always am like, oh, like bringing up old history, but like my dad is a psychopath. You know, like I try to like kind of minimize like how bad he was, because it's just been a long time. I just like had spent some time with him, and he wasn't like awful, but I also like didn't spend, you know, any time with him. But the few, you know, just absolutely alarming things that happened when I was with him was him, you know, exposing himself to me while we were watching TV. I look over and I'm like, oh my God. So I left, and you know, for like a week or something, and then I ended up going back, you know, and he didn't really say anything about it. I don't really know why I rationalized it. This last year has been, in the last like couple years, I'm just like, whoa, like what really has been going on? I think my little sister is just like like also a psychopath. Like she is like very much like my dad. And keeping her away from my dad, even if she's like, oh, poor me, I was raised without a father. Like, your dad's an absolute piece of shit. Like, and people say that and they're like, oh, well, what do you mean? Like, I think whipping your, you know, genitals out in front of your kids kind of counts as like, whoa, wow, you're fucked up. You know, growing up, I would like take a shower and he would like, you know, take the towels out. Like I told that story to so many people growing up, and he was like a super Republican, you know, Mr. Fox News. And like I think Fox News like isn't, I like a lot of stuff on Fox News, but like he totally spoiled it for me for a long time. Just like he spoils a lot of things. But like the main point is that the GOP is kind of messed up. I don't know. I think that, like, their strategy has just been to, like, bottleneck anything that the Dems want to do. And then the Dems try to just, like, get what they want. You know, they just figure, like, okay, we'll just legislate something. Because they just, like, don't agree. So it's just been this, like, bickering of a divorced couple over, you know, who gets what assets for, like, years and years and years now. You know, playing out on, like, a, you know, a national level. So, it's, so I don't know, like, I just know, this is what I know. I know that, like, my father has felt, you know, some kind of way because he's been estranged from his daughter. He had every right to be close to her, never mind that, like, you know, he had some weird instance of, like, touching her inappropriately and me being like, huh, okay, well, let's get involved. And, you know, so I, of course, reported him. And, you know, I think he's been upset about that. And I'm just like, wait a minute. I didn't do anything wrong. You did something wrong. And this was, like, years and years and years ago. So he, I think he's just kind of way more spiteful and vindictive than I realized, because he just has been playing it so coy, like, oh, I'm so sick, oh. Meanwhile, he's been doing, like, really, really messed up stuff via the Republican Party. Like, a lot of really weird stuff happened during the lockdowns. You know, just really unusual things. And I was just like, wait, I think everyone was too blindsided by it to be like, wait, what the fuck actually was that? The fact that the Republicans didn't lose more people because of that is alarming. There was no reason that anybody should have been given money to stay home. Like, that should have been a really big red flag. Like, regardless of, like, this is supposed to be the party of, like, guns and, you know, like, America, freedom. Like, what? Like, if so, it doesn't, like, really make sense on its face unless you're like, oh yeah, maybe they really are fascists. Maybe they do want, like, there to be a dictatorship and, like, a, you know, one really awful person that they can, like, rally behind to feel good about. And that's, like, really terrifying. I think, like, that's an aspect of, like, sports and politics that I have not necessarily, like, understood as much, because it's just, like, I don't think it's all like that, but I do think some people are like that. So, yeah, like, I think, like, I don't think there's anything wrong with, like, you know, at this point with being PC, trying to be sensitive, because it's not, like, it's not for everybody, but growing up is weird, you know, like, it's not, I don't really, like, get down with the, you know, renaming yourself and this whole, like, thing of calling you different pronouns and all that. Like, I just think that, like, that gets into the demonic possession territory, and that's just, like, not a thing for, we don't need to have that much information about you in that short amount of time, you know what I'm saying? Like, if you're just meeting someone and you're like, hi, my name's Sasha, I'm from Virginia, and I'm a they. It's just like, and I like tacos. Like, okay, hello, how are you? And I get it. Like, I think this generation, like, really feels like, oh my God, it sucks. I had to sit and watch TV by myself all the time. And when I hear that, as, like, a, you know, a millennial, I'm like, they let you watch TV? Are you fucking kidding me? Like, that was not a thing. That was, like, a restricted activity. But, like, my sister was a pain in the ass and just kind of was always, like, you know, she was just a pain in the ass. So finally, you know, there's only so many activities you can do with kids during the day. Because believe it or not, moms, like, do get tired, and there are other things that, like, we might want to, like, occupy ourselves with. It is awesome being a mom, but I might have to go to the bathroom, or, you know, any number of activities. Okay. But point being, like, it's really easy in a potentially lethal combination when those two groups link up, fascists and like really spoiled kids, because it's like, oh my god, what the fuck, you know. But yeah, at least like for me, being able to kind of see that is I don't know, at the very least, like